the silent call of the heart. The garden was a sanctuary for Meera, a place where she could escape the noise of the world and her tangled thoughts. Sitting cross-legged among the vibrant blue and red flowers, she picked at her lunch absent-mindedly. The lilies around her swayed gently in the breeze, but she barely noticed. Her mind was elsewhere on a man who wasn't her husband. Ravi had been kind, always. He was the quiet warmth in her life, the dependable one who was there for her when she needed someone to listen. Unlike her husband, Ajay, who had grown distant over the years, Ravi had a way of making her feel seen and understood. She wasn't sure when her thoughts had started to drift toward him more often, but now they had a gravity of their own, pulling her deeper into emotions she didn't know how to reconcile. The sunlight filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows on her lap, but all she could think about was the stark contrast between the two men. Ajay, practical and efficient, had always been the man who provided for her. But lately, his affection felt transactional, a marriage that was more of a routine than a partnership. Meanwhile, Ravi's kindness was effortless and genuine. He noticed the little things, how her brown eyes sparkled when she laughed, or how she loved jasmine tea when she was down. As Meera sat in the tranquil garden, her heart warred with her mind. She had never thought of herself as the kind of woman who would stray. But this wasn't about betrayal. This was about something deeper, an emotional connection she hadn't felt in years. Should I call him? The thought had been haunting her for days. What would it mean if she did? Would it be crossing a line she could never uncross? Or was it a step towards something her soul was aching for? The lilies danced gently in the breeze, but her indecision made the air heavy. Could she live in a world where she continued to feel invisible in her own home? Or was it selfish to even consider reaching out to Ravi to indulge in the warmth he brought into her life? Minutes felt like hours as Meera weighed the consequences of her emotions. She closed her eyes, exhaling slowly, trying to find clarity. But the heart is rarely logical. She realized, in that moment, that not calling him would leave her with even more questions. And perhaps that was the scariest thing of all. What if she never knew? With trembling fingers, Meera reached for her phone. Her pulse quickened as she stared at Ravi's name on the screen. It took a considerable amount of time, but eventually she pressed call. As the phone rang, she realized she wasn't just calling Ravi. She was calling a future that might hold something more than what she had now. Something that will be softer, kinder, and dare she say it, love. And once she heard his voice answer his phone, he caused her to do what he always did. She smiled,